How do you look after it?
Because
I realised when we brought it out, we've got this lovely
that's only quite recent.
Acidic tissue. Bad.
Should be white. Yeah, it had been wet. Well, clearly it's been kept for a very long time by a kind of quite distant relative who sent it to me, which was lovely, not that long ago, it's a few years back, and it was in white tissue paper. It has been in white tissue paper and then folded, as you can see. I doubt very much it's been used for a long time, although it has some indication of wear and tear. So she obviously, presumably used it for tea, afternoon tea.
We've got a lovely teapot here.
Yes. And so, but how long that was, and finally, obviously, someone packed it away. And so the answer is, I would like some advice on that. I know you do free consultations by appointment, and that's why I brought it in initially. And just the really absolute basics. It would be lovely to sort of take it out and show it, but some people think that they can just frame it and put it on a wall, and I think that's not actually a good approach to.
Yeah. Well, I think a couple of things. Tissue is really key. White tissue is good, but you want to make sure your white tissue is acid-free. Not all tissues are equal. So a good quality acid-free tissue paper,
and where do we get
that? Start. You can buy that online from specialist suppliers such as Archival Survival and places like that. The better paper, the better. Good acid-free tissue is a good way to go. If you use an acidic paper, the acidity from the paper will migrate into your cloth, which will cause it to be weakened, but also yellowing. So often you'll get something that's had a piece of acidic paper on it, and they'll have a very distinct yellowing going on. So you're really lucky here, it's not too stained. So however they've kept it in the past has been pretty good. The creasing's a problem in the long term because eventually you'll see an object start to split along the fold. Particularly you'll get it, down the middle and this way. So when there's two ways you could go about it. You could fold it into a box, which is fine, but you just want to make sure you pad those creases a little bit so that they're not sharp. And we can show you how to put it into a box in a minute. The other way that you could do it is to roll it. So you get a tube, which you cover with an acid-free layer, either tissue or washed cotton is great. And then you can roll it up, and then again you have a cover of washed cotton or tissue around the outside. And then it doesn't have any creases, it's in the acid-free conditions, and again it also helps protect it from dust, light and insects, or sort of the big killers of textiles.
Okay, well, thank you for that.
Got some acid-free tissue paper and a good quality polypropylene acid-free box. So when we go to fold it, you can see it's a sort of sharp crease there. We want to reduce that sharp creasing. So it's very easy, just using tissue, you can roll it up. So you can be as fancy as, not fancy as you like, but sort of crumple it up a little bit. So that we're then going to really soften that fold when we do it, and we come across. Push that in there, so you can see it's not going to have that sharp crease anymore. We just have some padding in that. And then we'll do another one, we fold it the other way.
Do you still recommend you wearing white gloves? That used to be such a big thing, but it's not so much now.
Yeah, I think it's more about having very clean hands, and certainly I think sort of with working with textiles, sometimes wearing gloves can be more of a hindrance than a help, because you lose that touch factor, and you can sort of catch your hands on something, or catch your gloves on elements of cloth which you're less likely to, I think, if you've got sort of naked hands. But yeah, certainly making sure that you've got clean hands is vital, because you do have, dirt, grease, oils that can transfer to the cloth.
So you can see that's much less sharply creased, and then we can put it in the box. I would generally put a piece of tissue in first, just so that you can sort of see what's going on in the bottom of the box and pop it in there. So this is quite a big box for it. You could put other things in with it, and then we just put some onto the top.
That's not a problem. You can put anything too heavy.
Well, you don't want any. You'd layer it up. So maybe if you had some flat things, you could put them on the bottom, and then this one on top. It does. You could certainly fit more than that in the box, and then you've got the lid. So we have acid-free conditions, and we've protected it from light, light, insects and dust. We'll sit there. The other thing I would strongly suggest is anything like that you write down what this is and include the provenance, because it doesn't take long. I know with my mother, I never listened to her. it's gone and I don't remember the story, and that's just lost like that.
You say that.
Yes, yeah, that's right. And then it's just a kind of quirky tea cloth with no history, which is a real
Well,
shame.
exactly, because as I've said, I'm lucky that I actually do know exactly who it was and who all the people were even.
Yeah.
It's
And
really
to have that documented in a cloth like this is quite unusual.
Yeah.
So much women's history gets lost
Yes.
because it's not recorded, it's not in a written down form or whatever. It's in this kind of embroidery that's just gets thrown out,
Yes.
which is such a shame.